Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Garrett Horner, and this is stage 6 of the Giro d'Italia 2021. An exciting day, incredible day of racing, 160 kilometers long, 100 miles in length, 3 categorized climbs with the summit finish at 15 kilometers long, about 10 miles. This is going to be a great stage. Right away, when the racing starts, it's big groups going up the road. And they start from kilometer 0 going straight up, a 4 or 5 kilometer grade that's pretty stiff but not categorized. But this really makes it difficult on the riders when you're coming from so many days of racing, and then from kilometer 0, you got to have some good legs or you're going to be out the back fast. It's an exciting stage and too much going on for me to cover everything, but I'll give you the bulk of what I saw. Directly right away, Israel Startup Nation is on the front trying to close down gaps. It's a big group of 15, 20 guys going up the road right away. And Israel Startup Nation, they have race leader there with Demarque, and he wants to try to hold on to this jersey. This is a mistake in my mind right away. They have Dan Martin, and Dan Martin's their GC favorite here at the Giro. He's already gone top 5 at the Vuelta last season. Here, we know he's coming on some kind of form because we've already seen him climbing in the front group. So when they're chasing for Demarque, automatically I'm thinking this might not be a very good move. Demarque's not known as a great climber. We've already talked about him possibly losing the jersey on this particular stage anyways, but they're going to ride, and they're going to pay the price for that. Quickly, I noticed right away, Ineos Grenadiers is covering moves and putting in multiple riders in different attacks on early in this stage. So some point in time, they must have flipped the stage tactics around and decided to go with something different because things are going to change. About 25 kilometers in the stage, group of 6 go up the road, and you have 2 Bahrain victorious rider in there, Gino Mader, and you have his teammate Mohoric, who's also in there and doing an amazing job. Mohoric is just the driver back there in this group. He's trying to keep this thing away all the way to the last climb so the Swiss rider, Gino Mader, can go up there and try to get his stage win. You might remember him from Paris-Nice earlier in the year when he lost the stage with about 50, 75 meters to go before the line, when it was Primož Roglič that took that stage win away from him. Now it's going to be an exciting battle up front with the break because they have 6, but they have 2 riders chasing, Bach Mollema along with the AG2R rider, and they're chasing for 20 miles. We're talking about 35 kilometers of chasing before they can finally catch the front group of 6. They will catch, and when they do catch, the rain starts coming and it's storming, and whatever the riders were experiencing in the first 60 kilometers of this stage is not going to be what they're going to experience at the end. I'll tell you, it's going to be ugly. They give temperatures between about 12 and 14 Celsius out there, so it's pretty cold, about 45, 55 degrees. But whatever you're seeing on the TV screen is really meaningless because when they're cresting the top of these mountains, the temperature can be completely different than what they're telling us on the TV down in the valleys. We know it's cold, and you can see it on the riders' faces. Now, when they go up the first categorized climb is not when Ineos flip the switch, but just afterwards. There's a little dip, and then they'll go up another climb. But that little valley in there, it's open, it's exposed. There's just no trees at all, and now the storm has come, and the wind is driving. Now, on the front, it's not just the wind driving because Ineos Grenadiers is throwing down with Filippo Ganna, and he is just destroying and causing chaos everywhere. There's echelons all over the place between these 2 categorized climbs before we start the last descent. When we're going up to the second to last KOM, it's Filippo Ganna, and he's driving so hard up the climb that you're going to see just groups all over, and race leader, Israel Startup Nation, Demarque, won't make that split, and he'll lose out on the small technical descent right before the valley, and they go up the second to last climb. They're chasing non-stop. Ineos, Filippo Ganna, the train is just up there driving all day long from this point all the way into the last climb. Now, I want to point out what makes this stage really incredibly cold. When you go over the second categorized climb, it's a 40-kilometer descent going all the way into the start of the last climb with 15K to go. When you're sitting on the back and a rider like Filippo Ganna is up there just pulling so fast, on a descent like that, even the guys in the back, they're just not working that hard. so they don't have much power on the pedals, and that's what's going to make them so cold. A 40K descent, we're talking 45 minutes to an hour of time to get all the way down to the bottom. That is a lot of time not to be putting power on the pedals, and you're freezing. And you know they're freezing because they're like, and you see them, and what happens is you get so cold you forget to breathe, and then you'll see the rider just go, and when you see their cheeks always expand, and what's happening is that they're chattering and they're so cold they're forgetting to breathe, and then all of a sudden the body has to remind the rider that you need to take that deep breath, and now you need to start breathing. So you see the riders just big exhales to try to make up for all that time when they were so cold they just weren't thinking about breathing, and they shut the mind off. Now going down the long 45-kilometer descent, Bach Mollema is going to have some more problems because it's the Bahrain victorious rider up there, Gino Matter, and of course his teammate Mohoric that are just driving down this descent. And Bach Mollema is having some problems, almost crashes in one corner, and so he's doing a lot of chasing again. Poor Mollema, he chased for 35 kilometers at the beginning. He's chasing again down this descent, and he's going to have a hard day. But he still puts in a spectacular ride when they start the last climb of today's stage. He does find his way back on. Now behind you have three riders trying to sneak away from the Ineos-led group of riders. And they're going away on the technical descent because it's dangerous, it's bad roads, gravel in the corners, broken pavement. It's really a difficult descent to do, especially in rain and cold. Bertoli's back there, Giulio Ciccone's back there, and Romain Bardet are back there. But it's only the two riders, Bertoli and Romain Bardet, working. Giulio Ciccone is sitting on, and Bertoli is not happy. You'll see him arguing all the time with Giulio Ciccone. But remember, the Trek Segafredo rider has Bach Mollema in the front. He has good legs. I underestimated Ciccone. He has good legs at this Giro. And I'll tell you, I'm the knucklehead on that one because I underestimated him when we saw him 2 stages ago finishing on the climb with the leaders. I didn't think he had this kind of form. But he's up there with the three guys because of his ability to go down this descent and follow the fast wheels through the corner and take maximum risk, but he does not want to be pulling. And so Bertoli is just getting angry back there. They will get caught before the last climb starts, and it's a good thing Ciccone and Trek Segafredo were incredibly intelligent and at that moment of never having the kid have to do any work in that front group because he's going to have fabulous legs on this last climb. When the last climb starts, the front group has just over 2 minutes. That's not a whole lot of time with Ineos Grenadiers chasing, and Filippo Ganna is still on the front, and now he's given everything he can for the first 4 kilometers of this stage. Next, Jonathan Castroviejo will do amazingly strong pulls there and help bring the time back, but really the excitement starts when Dani Martinez, the Ineos Grenadiers rider, that gets and throws in the first attack of today's stage from the favorites. The Deceuninck Quick-Step's Remco Evenepoel's team will get on the front and start doing the bulk of the driving at this point in time. I don't want to forget the Deceuninck Quick-Step rider Peter Seri. Just under 12 kilometers to go, he's dropping off the front group. The official car and the bike exchange car are coming up next to each other, and the official car is handing over some equipment or something that probably one of the riders had given that car to hand over to the bike exchange car. When they're doing that, you'll see their arms sticking out there. They're not paying attention, and the bike exchange vehicle will run into Peter Seri, the Deceuninck Quick-Step rider, and knock him completely off his bike. Seri is not happy. You see him arguing, of course, and flipping off basically the driver of the bike exchange car there. He gets back on his bike and will continue. Good for him. He doesn't look like he's hurt, but we'll have to find out later on Cycling News or one of the other publications to see exactly what happened to the rider. Up front, I told you, Dani Martinez threw in a big dig, and he's throwing that in somewhere around 3 kilometers to go, and that's causing the Deceuninck Quick-Step team to get on the front and start chasing down. Remco Evenepoel, the young kid, he has form, and he's going to use his whole team in order to control the Ineos Grenadiers attack of Dani Martinez. Behind with 1.5 kilometers to go is when we see Egan Bernal just throw in a massive dig, and he's going to try to get some time on the favorites. Up front in the breakaway with about 3 kilometers to go, though, Gino Matter goes solo, and he's going to try to go all the way to the line, just doing everything he can to hold off the Ineos Grenadiers and the Deceuninck Quick-Step team. Now, with just a few hundred meters to go, you see Egan Bernal throwing in a dig, but we're missing some favorites. Adam Yates isn't there. Vlasov's not there. George Bennett's already been dropped a long time ago. Up front now with Egan Bernal is Dan Martin, Remco Evenepoel, and Giulio Ciccone holding on. Egan Bernal is doing all of the work from the last 1.5K. He's accelerating, deaccelerating, trying to get the other guys to come through, but they won't. They cannot catch Gino Mader, who takes a spectacular win for Bahrain Victorious. Remember, they lost their GC favorite, Mikel Landa, in yesterday's crash, and their whole team's plans at this year's Giro have switched. Bahrain Victorious were incredibly aggressive today throughout the stage, and even having riders following with the GC favorites in the back. But Gino Mader will take the victory, and it's well-deserved. Fantastic win. Just behind Gino Mader's victory, as we see Egan Bernal-led group, Egan Bernal will come through for second place. Dan Martin for third. Remco Evenepoel and Giulio Ciccone, Trek Segafredo rider, will hold on to finish with the front leaders on GC. Now, on the general classification, it's Attila Valters who takes the pink jersey at this Giro. Guys, I wish I could tell you something about him. I don't know anything about him. He was not on my radar at all. He was not on the radar of the commentators while I'm watching the race. I had to wait till the race was finished, and we were 10-15 minutes before they figured out who was going to be race leader. He was quietly hidden. Because of the rain and the rain jackets and how bad the pictures are on the TV, you don't even know he's there. Honestly, it's the first time at a Grand Tour summit finish where the action, normally you could see every rider coming up to the finish line and you would know right away who's racing for the general classification and pink jersey at this year's Giro. Nobody knew. I certainly did not know. I don't even know if Francis de Jure would have known. I mean, it's crazy to see a young kid from Groupama FDJ take a pink jersey at this year's Giro and never talk about him throughout the whole stage. I can't even mention him here on the Butterfly Effect before the race finished because I didn't know anything about him. I'm sorry for that. I'll have to do some homework before I go to bed tonight. Anyways, I hope you guys loved the Butterfly Effect today. It was a crazy stage. I recommend going back and watching it from kilometer 0 all the way to the finish. Spectacular day of racing, and all of the riders, fantastic job getting to the finish line. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you real soon.